We're golden. All right. I believe I was explaining the powers of the lesbian rogue. So here we go. We didn't do any... We did 2 lines, so I'll repeat them for anybody who missed it. Oh, preacher to Brofist to you. I want to share this story and start off by saying that I am a lesbian blood elf rogue. IRL. You could be an IRL rogue. That's a bit scary. Which is bound to lead to good bants, isn't it? I wasn't going to share my WoW backstory with you, because I know nobody really gives a fuck. Oh, chat, you're being judged, man. You're being judged. Everybody cares about the backstory. But here it is. Just in case we want it. My parents got divorced and my stepdad bought me some Warcraft.
Move mouse.
Which one?
The gaming mouse. It's highlighting over everyone's name and it's bringing up text boxes in your chat. Stop it! No one likes you!
It was toward the last few months, so I didn't even hit 60. Only 55 on my Troll Hunter. Oh. But Burning Crusade came out though, and my stepdad bought it for me immediately. Obviously I chose the Horde because Blood Elves, mate. Who the fuck would play Alliance when there are Blood Elves? I already like the Horde more, but with Blood Elves, the Alliance doesn't even have an excuse of having the hottest race, or the excuse of having Paladins anymore, right? That's right, you learn. In the starting area, I met a Blood Elf mage who had taken a break from her main so she could experience the quests. We happened to end up on the same set of quests, as I later found out when I found myself struggling in the Ghostlands with one shitty quest where you have to kill 2 abominations who spawn in random ass locations on the map. Do not remember doing that quest, but it was fucking 8 years ago or some shit, I don't know. We grouped up, and along with her was a re-rolling Blood Elf Paladin. His name was Cocker. The mage introduced herself as Platypus and said she was a bit... Fucking hell. This already makes me dislike Platypus. Sorry if you're in chat. One of the first things she said was that she was a bit well known amongst the server for being a rather decent druid. And her main was in a small raiding guild of about 50 good raiders. No big deal. I know we're just partying with each other in the Ghostlands on fresh alts, but I just kind of want to let you know that I'm pretty fucking important on the server, right? Just kind of know where the fuck you are and who you're talking to. I just want to explain that to you. Naturally, because I was a complete noob then, I asked if I could join her guild. She then went into detail about how I had to fill out an application. And then at the end of the detailed application process, she said, even if I did fill it out, mate, I probably won't get in due to me not being level cap. So let me explain to you our rather convoluted and, you know, just over-the-top application process. Now I've explained that, understand, mate, that you're still not going to get in. Right? But understand how it's done. It worried me. I asked things like my raiding experience. I had none. My email address. I used my mummy's at the time. My real life name as well as my age. So naturally I said I'd done Nefarian. And then I quit the game and sold the account. I made myself a new email. Said my name was Kitten, since it is similar to that. And then said I was 17. So I fabricated that name, by the way. Because I apparently did Blackwing Lair on my other account that I had lost, they let me in the guild. I have no idea why they did this. It was the worst lie. I'm surprised it worked. I don't know what kind of morons would accept someone who deleted a max level character, but there you go. It seemed these guys were fine with levelers in the guild, since they also had a few level 20s and so on throwing around. Fast forward to us doing Karazhan. I was in Group 1, which may surprise you, but I had made it clear through dungeons that I was not shit. As we took out each boss, I racked up DKP. But because the loot in Karazhan was dog shit, I wasn't spending anything on it. I bid on a few tier 4 pieces, but aside from that, I held on to my DKP and didn't spend it very often. A long, long time later, we were doing Tempest Keep. We beat Allah after only 54 attempts. Amusing, yes. Not really. Allah wasn't easy. The next bit, though, is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. When I read this, it made me sick. Allah down, right? What's the next boss that they're going to tackle? Did any of you play during the Burning Crusade? I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. We then, after Allah, moved on to the Loot Reaver. What? Nobody does that. And that fight didn't last too long. Probably the easiest fight I can remember doing in WoW. Honestly, I only remember us wiping once. Because we only wiped once. Because Cocker, whom I found out was the Paladin class healer, went AFK in the middle of Loot Reaver and let us all die. This fight is so fucking bad that I'm going. This fight is so fucking bad. Loot Reaver is so fucking bad. I'm just going AFK. I'm just going AFK in the middle of the fight. No heals for anybody. I'm fucking done. Then we got to Kael'thas, eventually. Who to this day is still my favourite boss in any WoW game ever. I'm ashamed to say that we wiped on Telonicus. And the GM Rowley, a very good Orc warrior, decided to call it a night. Normally Rowley is a very, very relaxed guy. But after the shit that happened on Loot Reaver with his officers going AFK, the easiest boss in the game, he was naturally pretty pissed the guild wasn't able to clear it. And Cocker decided to just leave. Now here's where my scummy shit really starts to set in. Here's where the scum becomes. I had roughly 90-something DKP, right? Our dear friend who kept track of the DKP, Ayla, a Tauren shaman, was a pretty good friend of mine. So naturally, we could be bros, right? We could be bros. I asked him to cut me a little extra DKP for Kael'thas, because I knew about Ashes of Allah, and I really, really fucking wanted Ashes of Allah. I told him I'd give him 2,000 gold to do it, but that wasn't what he wanted. That wasn't what he wanted. He knew I was gay. So he told me to do something that could fuck up my reputation with the guild entirely. But if it worked, I might get Ashes of Allah. Now don't worry, it wasn't nudes. No, Rias. No. Was not nudes. It was not nudes. He asked me just to try and get with Platypus. And see if I could convince her to go out with me. He said if I could get a date with her within a month, then he'd give me the DKP. Or if I didn't, he'd tell everyone I'd threatened him into giving me extra DKP.
I'm done, mate. I want to look.
Did I have your attention?
A little bit.
I told him we'd go. We'd go for a fucking deal. So I go mute me over there. I can just hear myself constantly.
Do you not like the echo?
No. No. So I somehow, the next day, wound up with a nice solid 125 DKP. We killed Kael'thas several times. And on the time that his pet phoenix dropped, I blew every single last drippy pussy bit of my DKP on that mount. I still have that fucking thing to this day, and it's my favourite mount in the game. Now I had to work on something else though, right? I had to flirt with Platypus. And boy, am I glad I did. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Within 2 weeks, we were dating. Surprising considering she was bisexual, but preferred the dick, right?
Mate.
She's game for some muff, but I like a dick.
Greedy, but I like it.
Yeah, strap-ons are there for a reason. That's
what
what I'm talking about. Strap-ons for the men. What?
You say it like I'm going to object, mate.
Pussy for the ladies.
Do it, mate.
It's something like that. It's something like that, right? Of course, what was our man? Ayla was happy with the outcome and kept quiet about the DKP. He was just sat there going, nice. I made that happen. It's the best story ever, right? It's the best story ever. Let us go to the Black Temple. What are the names here? Rowley the GM. Cocker, that's where the names are. Cocker, me, Platypus, and of course, Big Man Ayla. We're storming through that place along with a ton of other people who aren't important.
Who aren't important?
I hope none of you recognise this story because you are A+ confirmed unimportant, mate.
Hey, want to do an interview with me? No.
Unfortunately, lads, it was an off night. We had an off night last night. It sucked. We wiped on Terran Gorefiend a stupid amount of times. I fucking swear, that fight was so fucking annoying. Primarily because so many fucking people can't understand 3 buttons. The Shrine of Lost Souls took us a few hours to beat to, and then there was the Illidari Council. So I still fucking hate that fight to this day. But after, yes, 6 8-hour raids, hardcore, we were at Illidan finally. And there he was, in all his glory. After a ton of RP shit and hearing, you are not prepared for the 30th time, we started the fight. Of course, my man Cocker was doing decent with the heals that fight. Rowley was doing a great job tanking, and a rogue called McKellen was pulling slightly lower DPS than me. Platypus was healing and, of course, was good at it. Balls me.
Pow.
Pow. The Flames of Azeroth pretty much brought it to a half wipe. But we kept pulling through. And, of course, my friend McKellen, the rogue, died. And raged in the chat. And, of course, by raged in the chat, I mean he acted rather irritated. But ultimately didn't bust out into caps lock. Alright? He's angry, but he's not caps lock angry. You clear?
Quietly angry, mate.
Quietly angry.
Seething.
Seething. We killed Illidan that night, as we had done many nights before. And as we kneeled down to loot him, the offhand glaive. It was there. That green, orange gloriousness. I was going to bid on it. But it was only recently after I had blown all my DKP on the ashes of Alar. Of fucking course, McKellen got it. A few more weeks later, we were going through again, and guess what just so happened to drop? That's right, the main hand glaive. Now, I really hate this point in the story, and you're going to be with me. The main hand glaive dropped. McKellen had his instant boner and was ready to throw all his DKP on it. But I stopped him. I just said, I want that glaive. His DKP didn't mean shit. Because he wasn't pulling the DPS like I was, even though he already had a glaive. Fuck off, mate! DPS don't matter, I've got more DKP than you though, so fuck off, he rage whispered me. But in raid chat, he just went, yeah, but I've got more DKP than you though.
That's all it is.
Whispers, fuck off and die, raid chat. Yeah, I've got a bit more DKP than you though, mate.
That's the perfect way to handle it.
Is that how you deal with it? Yeah, but I've got more DPS than you. And you've already had a glaive.
Numbers don't mean shit, mate!
He got more and more pissy and started sending more and more rage whispers. So I messaged the GM and played my pussy card. I pointed out that one, he was being mean to me, and that the Warglaive will be of little benefit to him because he already has one and his DPS is still shit.
Is this from the guy that wrote the story?
The lady who wrote the story.
What an arsehole bitch!
So she got the main hand glaive.
Of course she did. Of course she did, mate. Do you know what? If I went into a fucking showroom, right, with a fucking suitcase full of money and said, I want that Rolls Royce, and some guy went in and went, but I want it, and I'm a nicer person. They're going to give it to them? No!
I was given the main hand glaive. McKellen was promised the next glaive. Though, of course, he wasn't happy about it. He was so unhappy, in fact, that he sent me an in-game mail. Oh, yeah. An in-game mail telling me off about how much of a shitty person I was for stealing his Warglaive that he deserved and he needed. You know, that really pissed me off. So I screenshotted his mail and sent it to the GM.
Mate.
Rowley scolded him, told him that if he was going to act like a child about loot, if he was going to throw a hissy fit just because it didn't go all his way, then he could find another guild to put up with him. And the next day I was class leader and McKellen was no longer in the guild. I think McKellen made the correct decision there.
Is McKellen the guy who didn't get the claim?
He did not get the set.
This is why bitches need stitches. Because of people like that.
She says she's not happy about it though. She looks back on it. Just saying. 2.4 comes by. Sunwell. To replace McKellen, we picked up a Blood Elf hunter who went by the name of Wad.
What?
I'm going to go with Wad. It sounds like a package.
And it sounds like a pool of cum.
Pool of Cum was 14 years old. And an obnoxious fuck. And I fucking hated him and his little pubeless voice. But I knew about a certain drop-off Big Red at the end of the raid. So I pretended to get along with Wad. To anyone who says girls don't have any power over hormonal teenage boys, you're about to be taken to school. After making friends with Wad, I noticed he kind of took an interest in me. Not like he hit it very well, so as we progressed through the Sunwell, I just started sending him the odd messages with shit like, kiss, winky face, I
hate this kind of fucking person.
After several hundred attempts, we finally killed Muru. And Entropius, of course. And then it was time for Kill Jaden. Can we get a wall of winky face? We were taking a 10-minute break before we would start Kill Jaden. And I messaged my boy Wad. Hey Wad, I got a question.
I'm going to go find some work to do.
Okay.
Peace!
What is it though? Did you know about the legendary bow that drops here in the Sunwell? Yeah, why? What about it? Well, I want it. Now, I know you're a hunter, and you think you need it more, but did you know us rogues can use bows too, and this is the end of progress if we kill it? Well, I wanted to get it, and you know, if it drops and you pass, I might have a special surprise for you. Winky face. Okay. Okay. I think he expected it to drop again in the near future or something anyway. I thought he was getting a pretty good fucking deal. So when a few weeks passed and Thoradal was in the loot table, he said he wasn't going to bid any DKP. And that he was happy with what he had as we were farming. Ward had said that he didn't want the best in slot bow that made its own fucking arrows and that it could go to the rogue since she'd be better off with it than him anyway. A week later, he messaged me and asked me what the surprise was because he never got it. I said, just a second, winky face. And then I did the worst thing that I did in this story. I opened the guild tab, right-clicked his name, and kicked him from the guild and told the GM that he had been super creepy to me for the last couple of weeks and it was making me very uncomfortable. Am I a total bitch for everything I did? We'll let chat decide that one. Objectively, yes I am. I was a massive bitch for doing what I did, but was it all worth it? I'd certainly say so. I still have my tier 6 in void storage and my warglaives in my bags, and my most treasured mount is of course the Ashes of Alar. It's not uncommon to see me sporting my full set along with my Shattered Sun title and Competitor's Tabard with my Netherwelt just behind me as I fly around Orgrimmar. Ladies and gentlemen, the end. How many of you are salty for him? How many of you are salty for our man there? But god damn, it was indeed worth it. God damn. God fucking damn. Right, I need a guild name from you, ladies and gents. That was cold. That is pretty fucking cold. Alright. We're about to go through the looking glass of what some guys do. So I need some guild names.
Bitches need stitches.
That's bad, man. That is a bad story.
What? Turn it the other way, mate.
What's that?
Stitches gets bitches. We both win then. I know what it really means.
The Cockbusters Apple. Have you got chat open, Ghosty? He's got his fucking headphones on. Okay. The guild name we'll go with. Not doing the Twat Wombles again. The Virgin Squad, Slapperho Tribe, no. Smother Teresa, Jesus Christ. The Pussy Crushers. I love the Pussy Crushers. The Pussy Crushers. Okay. The extra space I have to find it. Oh, did I put an extra space in? Ah, I spelled group wrong. Where are we on that one?
What do you say? Where was I on what one?
Oh, don't matter. I'm way past that. There we go. Right, we're golden. We're golden. We're golden. We're good. Okay. Here we go. Holla Preacher Ghost and all the beautiful bastards in chat. Today I bring you a story from not so long ago that will give you insight into the real world of pugs. How many of you are puggers? I know a lot of you are raiders. How many of you are puggers? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Before we begin, let me give you some context. My working schedule is a complete and total, utter nightmare. Not only do I work varying days and also varying hours from week to week, no 2 weeks are ever the same. And as such, I can't join a raiding guild, as I don't know for sure if I'll ever be able to make the raids. I am in a guild of people who are in similar situations. We do 5-man content together. No, I got told by the internet that there's no such thing as those kind of guilds. But that we're rarely enough online at the same time to put a raid group together. And this means that those of us who want to raid have to resort to the pug life. So in we go. My story takes place about a month ago. I finally had a few days off and no real life stuff to take care of, and that only meant one thing. I was going in to the Emerald Nightmare. This was to be my first foray into raiding in Legion, which means not only did I not have me ahead of the curve, I did not have a single boss kill recorded on the Armory. For those of you who are unfamiliar of how Group Finder works, let me enlighten you. To have any hope of getting a group, you need the following: ahead of the curve, preferably mythic mode, even if you're doing normal. Every one of the legendaries available to your class and its off specs, full tier 20, multiple fingers removed and sent to the raid leader, and sell your soul to the devil. Exaggeration aside though, without experience or high level, you need luck more than anything to find a group with low enough requirements that also is able to actually kill the bosses. After a good half hour of declined applications, I finally got into a group. It was a group being run by a Spanish guild called the Pussy Crushers, who just so happened to need a melee DPS. And being a rogue quick on the apply button, I got my invite. I had 7 hours worth of flasks and pots of food coming out my ass, an ice cold monster, and a full-on tube of Pringles.
Yeah.
Wait, the extra hot ones, because I'm a man and I only eat pussy. Does say that.
Oh, shit. Just one thing, mate. Spanish, El Pussy Crushers.
El Pussy Crushers, of course. I was so prepared that Illidan himself would have stroked my cock. I got my summon. We enter the raid and clear the trash. Timer begins. Pre-pot, and into the fray we go. I gotta tell you, Preacher, it was the most glorious start you can ask for. It was a rolling of a 6. The gods of RNG smiled on me. Big Dick DPS was the order of the day. As Nathendra hit the floor, I found myself top of the deeps, mate. And as my reward, I got an 870 Titanforge ring. Foolish as I was, I thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Forward we walk. the raid leader decides that we're going for the eye. I think nothing of it. With how the last kill went, it's surely going to be smooth sailing. It was not. We wiped before we even got to do a proper pull. Why? Why do you wipe on the eye before you even pull? There's only one reason. There's only one reason and one reason only why you wipe on the eye before anything happens. And it's just like the shittest reason ever, but it's happened to us all. It's happened to us all. We've seen it somewhere, be it a normal farm, heroic farm, mythic farm, fucking LFR. A big fucking dinosaur. A big fucking dinosaur came out of nowhere, man. Where the fuck was that dinosaur? And feared multiple people into the eye. The following polls were intentional, but no better. Most of them, we didn't even get to the heart phase. Now, one would think that if we couldn't get the boss on normal mode to the eye phase, maybe, mate, maybe we should try a different boss. The raid leader, though, did not agree. In fact, he disliked the notion so much that when I suggested maybe we go and do Ursoc or something, he kicked me from the group for being a whiny bitch. I was not deterred, though. I was not deterred. I didn't let it get me down. I was going to go straight into a new group. Tried, I should say. Tried to get into a new group. I was declined or kicked as soon as I joined for almost an hour straight. Among all the kicks, a few these reasons were: 1. I asked for a summon and was instantly kicked. I said hello in English and the group was French. And my absolute favourite of them all was the following exchange. Raid leader: why haven't you got a ring enchant though? Me: I only got this thing like 10 minutes ago. I'll go and get an enchant right now if you want. Raid leader: don't have time for that, mate. Mate. Kicked. Mate. No time for ring enchants, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my raid. I finally decided that I was done for the day. Turned WoW off and went to play some Binding of Isaac. But day 2! That achievement will be mine! The following day, I sat down at my PC with renewed vigour. A fresh monster, but no Pringles to hand. I was going to get Xavius, however long it took. My group invite finally came at around 12:30. And Na Juju, the raid leader, was the man. As this was a fresh group, I had to down Nithenda again. No big deal though, mate. It's just more experience with the fight. We killed her quick. Took a huge dump on Ursoc. And even managed to clear the Dragons of Nightmare on the first pull. But only by a fucking pube though, as most of the group lay dead. This is where it came to the end. We moved on to the spider boss next. Everything looked fine. It looked fine. Looks could be deceiving though. The platform change is apparently really, really hard. At least according to the group I was in. I was flying gracefully over to the other platform, when suddenly a huge raid warning was spammed telling us to wipe. Confused, I just took a little look at the raid frames, just a little glimpse. There were 4 of us left alive. Everything else was grey. Misery, hello darkness, my old friend. We wiped. We rezzed up. We were ready. And in the blink of the eye, half the group had left. How did so many people die? The best I've seen, how many of you have seen this, where somebody like uses the fucking wings and doesn't know that you can choose to land and they hit the cliff flying over because they choose it wrong and they just like slowly vaulted. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Oh, it's the best thing ever. So many people think you just jump with that thing and you just kind of glide for ages. Don't know that you can, like, you know, fucking thaw down back to the ground again. Fucking so cool, man. I love it. They just gracefully, slowly, like, there's the platform, right? And they just kind of sail in like this. Oh no! Right into the fucking wall. So fucking cool. I loved it. Anyway. Let's go forward half an hour. The group refreshed. We got the spider down. No loot for me, but at this point, I didn't care. We could finally proceed, and I would get to kill the boss that ruined my entire run yesterday. As Naj Juju felt like we had wasted too much time with the last boss, he told us to save our cooldowns. We are going to kill the heart in one motherfucking go. Metal. Metal as fuck, right? We're in a fucking pug. A proper pug, not like 20 guildies and some guy, you know. We're going in. Yeah? Fucking... Don't use any cooldowns. Don't use fucking any. Don't use any. Don't even attack. Save it. We might need it. When it became apparent that we were not going to do this, the raid warning started going fucking bananas with out in raid warning. Now, I don't know what made most of our group think we could definitely manage to get the last 15% of the boss in about 7 seconds. But they fucking tried, right? Warriors, motherfuckers. Them warriors ain't going nowhere. Execute phase, mate. I got this. I'm fucking about to one-shot this bitch. And tried they did. Those brave souls. Succeed they did not. No. Succeed they did not. After a good 10 minutes of insults flying back and forth between those who stayed and said we ruined it by running out, and those who left saying that they ruined it by staying in, we ended up with Naj Juju just rage quitting the group. Along with 2/3 of the raid members. The process from the last boss repeated until we finally managed to kill the heart some hour later. 2 bosses remain. Cenarius ended up being a little different. This time nobody left the group after every single wipe. And wipe we did, ladies and gentlemen. Wipe we did. And it was all to the stupidest shit. People didn't attack the ad. They didn't interrupt the heal. Once we even wiped because people just didn't reset their stacks. And we saw like 12 people fall over at once. Now at this point you might be thinking, Arthur, why would you stay in this shitty group? And the answer is simple. And twofold. 1. I'm a stubborn motherfucker. Even though it took forever, bosses were dying with this group. And that alone was enough for me to not give up. Along with that, though, I was too invested. I had been with this group for hours. I refused to have to go through this again just to get to the last 2 bosses. We're so close. So I stayed. Right around the time we managed to kill Cenarius, my wonderful, gorgeous girlfriend entered our gaming room to put a plate of food on my desk. Being a gamer herself and knowing how stubborn I am with these things, she knew I was not about to leave the PC for food. So instead of trying to get me off the computer to eat, she brought me food. That is not what my wife would have done. That is not what my wife would have done. Walked in and accidentally tripped over the off button, maybe, something like that. Only Xavius left. I steeled my mind. I steeled my body for more wipes. I was so close to that achievement. So close to being able to get into groups with higher requirements for future clears. I wasn't going anywhere. As predicted, Xavius was a clusterfuck. Xavius was worse than any of the other bosses. It seemed like nobody knew what the hell was going on or what to do. Blades constantly went through the group, healers in deep soaked corruption until they were mind controlled, not quite understanding what the dream was all about. At one point we had to take a short break to log alts to send more food and flasks as most of the group had run out. We weren't allowed to leave the raid with our characters though. We had no warlock and the raid leader refused to wait for people to travel. Many, many attempts later, Xavius lay dead before us. It was over. Taking a look at that time, I was hardly surprised to see the cloak had just passed 8 for a grand total of 7.5 hours since the raid had started. We had a whole new raid, probably multiple times. I'm pretty sure I was the only member left from the original group. I had barely touched the food my girlfriend brought me. It was now cold. I felt so physically exhausted from this entire experience, it took me a couple of minutes to muster the strength to get up and go and heat up my dinner. Why? Get a guild! I know he's got a guild. He's that in. He knows why he's there. He knows. Since then, I would only ever go once or twice to the Emerald Nightmare. Neither of them to completion. I think the entire instance has become a PTSD trigger for me. I don't care though. I feel like I've spent enough time in that godforsaken place from the first run alone. I live in the pug world. I am still in the pug world, waiting for a day when I have enough time spare to try my hand at the trial of valor. If all goes according to plan, I'll be starting my education to become a teacher come next fall, and hopefully that means I can dedicate some time to raiding and live up to the potential I know I have. Mythic raiding is in my future. I hope you enjoyed my little story. I know living it sure as hell wasn't that entertaining. What? You guys crazy, man. It blows my mind here. It does. It does. I wish the best for all of you who are in that world. I wish the best. And unless you are in a situation like that, where you just can't fucking help it. You know, that is it. Mother God. Yeah, you've got to find the right ones. Absolutely. That's not representative of all pugs. Let's be honest there. It's not. But Jesus Christ, man. That's because most of you probably left him. Invite him. No, he can't. He said at the beginning, remember. He can't do it with his schedule. It's not possible. It's not possible. Ladies and gents, we are back tomorrow with all the stories of BlizzCon. My little, I did meet some of the famous names. We met Mr. Celestlon. We met Mr. Watcher. I have some funny stories to tell about those, as well as all the wonderful shit that we got up to while we were in, where are we? California. Anaheim, California. Including, we found an even better, if it was ever possible, an even better pizza place than CC's Pizza.
You're such a fucking trigger whore. It's outrageous.
Even better. I can't. I've got to pick the kids up in 3 minutes. In fact, my wife said to tell me it's time to go and get the kids. Am I correct?
No.
All right. So I can do some more drama stories then.
I'm here to tell you.
What?
I love you.
Oh, very cute. Stream QA tonight? No, after the web show tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll be adding in, like, the web show will be more targeted, less breaks and stuff, but there'll be a Discord chat with whoever wants to join in after the web shows and stuff for about 20 minutes or so. It was good fun last time. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 PM GMT. It's 8 PM London time, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Hopefully the stream will now be great every single time we use it, which should be fine and dandy. All right, good. Thank you. Bye.